1, 2, 3, yeah! This is Amari Purple Talk. Yes. Welcome to episode 57 of Amari Purple Talk, a podcast where I share my thoughts on the Prince musical singularity. I'm Richard Cole, your imagination funk soloist. Thank you for tuning in. Please leave your comments in the comments section below, and please download on your favorite podcast platform. If you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And before we dive into our main topics, I am once again announcing the upcoming Sign of the Times Twitter thread that will be moderated by Edgar Cruz and DJ UMB. The actual start will depend on when all of us will get our Sign of the Times Super Deluxe Edition. Once we all have our respective copies and have time to dive into it, then we'll each start with our signed thread on a particular song. It's going to be a year long and will play for months as we're covering the entire original album plus the vault and live tracks on the Super Deluxe. But it's going to be a beautiful night with each and every thread, so hurry before it's too late and check that out when we get the official announcement. What we will have on October 10th will be a virtual Sign of the Times Super Deluxe celebration, and that is produced by Polished Solid Productions. And I guess, again, kind of similar to the Twitter thread, then this will be a celebration of the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. We're all excited. Can't wait to get this. The momentum is building. As this airs, we will be officially 4 days away from the actual release. So far, I have not received any notifications that it's going to arrive later, but hopefully I'll get mine on time because I can't wait. Excited to hear this album. So with that out of the way, we are going to start with our first topic. And basically what I wanted to do was not to get too overexcited for Sign of the Times, was kind of deviate and discuss some other topics. Basically, this is a sort of extended remix version of episode 6 with the two topics that I am discussing this week. And we're going to start off with the Prince Live at First Avenue 1983. This was a benefit for the Minnesota Dance Theater. This was also the first public performance of Purple Rain. In fact, for those that are unfamiliar with the recording of the Purple Rain album, that the actual, what you hear on that album is from this benefit, as far as I Would Die For You, Baby I'm a Star, and Purple Rain itself. This was taken from that particular performance and used on the actual Purple Rain album. They did a few overdubs here and there, but that's the reason why this particular show is historically significant. And there is film footage of this. There is definitely audio of the entire show that was engineered by Susan Rogers, who engineered Purple Rain and Sign of the Times and albums in between. Now, within a year or two of Prince's passing, it was announced that there was going to be a documentary about this performance. And I believe that Apple TV were the ones that were going to have the rights to produce and stream this documentary. It was also announced kind of roughly about the same time as the Netflix documentary. As of now, there has still been no official word from Apple TV or the Prince estate regarding this particular project. So, with that being said, I personally feel that this performance should be a standalone CD, and it should also be, whether you release the entire, I don't know if the entire show has been filmed, but if you have the entire show, release that as a standalone DVD, or have the documentary come out on Blu-ray or DVD along with the CD. You could do a bundle. I'm not sure if maybe the CD might be 2 CDs long, I would guess, and then just have bundle it with the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever, and market it and sell it that way. It would reach a definite wider audience. This would be a piece for definite, not only Prince fans, but collectors as well. This would be pretty much a niche release, or I wouldn't say a novelty release. Like I said, there is historical significance. Now the question would be, would this come out, say, on Warner Brothers or Sony? Warner Brothers would have, obviously, the rights to Purple Rain forever because it's a movie soundtrack. But this could be something that could come out on Sony. You might have to make a deal with Warner Brothers if you want to utilize footage, say, from the actual Purple Rain film as part of the documentary, and maybe license some of the actual songs from Purple Rain, or the actual mastered recording that is heard on the Purple Rain soundtrack. So, the logistics of it wouldn't be hard to work out. But again, like I said, I wouldn't be mad if it's on Apple TV. Well, yes, I would, because I don't have Apple TV. Now, personally, if you want to kind of keep it within the Warner Brothers family, then since Purple Rain, the rights to the film, the rights to the Purple Rain album, since that would stay with Warner Brothers, wouldn't be a bad idea if that particular project was marketed through, like, say, HBO Max, which I do have. So I wouldn't be upset if it would be streamed just on that alone. And like I said, that's just if it's staying within the Warner Brothers realm and you don't have to work out the logistics with Sony, because the estate does have the complete control over everything that's in the vault. And since that is something that's part of the vault, although it is Purple Rain related, they could just easily go ahead and make that deal with Warner Brothers and just, market it and release it that way. Now, there is another First Avenue concert that was the birthday show, June 7th of 1984, which to me, I enjoyed that one more, but to me, that could easily be a standalone release as well. But since we're just focusing on the First Avenue benefit of 1983, then, I guess the reason why is because it's Wendy's first day on the job. This is the actual debut of Prince and the Revolution, as opposed to Prince and the Band. Even though on the 1999 cover, the Revolution is written backwards on the front of the cover. And it's, maybe a concept he was kind of developing at that time. But, this is the official debut of Prince and the Revolution as we've come to know it. And again, it's Wendy's first day on the job. They're trying out, new songs. I think even Computer Blue was debuted on this particular night as well. Like I said, it, culminates with the I Would Die for You, Baby I'm a Star, Purple Rain. No one had heard these songs before. So there's your history right there. That alone justifies it being a standalone release. To me, I would say I would put it on par with, Jimmy Live at Monterey. That was sort of, no one had, at least in America anyway, had heard of Jimi Hendrix. And then this was the first time out. And this is when America first saw, or California first saw, the Jimi Hendrix experience. And everything just kind of skyrocketed from there. I mean, it's, a little bit of apples and oranges in a way, but as far as Prince history goes, yeah, this is a very key piece of history. And it should get like a standalone release. And I mean, even if you do put it on Apple TV, again, which is something I don't have, that's fine. But it wouldn't hurt to release the CD, or I would say release it on Apple TV, release the CD simultaneously, and then somewhere down the road do a separate DVD that we can all purchase. Now that you've seen it on Apple TV, you can now own the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever with that. But I don't know. Me personally, I would just prefer just having, like I said, I'm sure that the audio portion would be about 2 CDs long. I don't know. I haven't heard it in a long time. Let's see. I think I actually have it or managed to get it onto a single CD. I think, but like I said, I haven't been able to really listen to it in a long time. And it is an enjoyable show. I mean, a lot of the songs, even though it's them working it out for the first time, and the band is starting to learn how to gel, because like I said, you got brand new energy coming into the fold. It's an enjoyable performance, and you can probably, like I said, maybe if not a single CD, if it's 2 CDs, it doesn't matter. But as long as you have the performance in its entirety, and then again just bundle it with the DVD, you could do it that way. And have good liner notes with it. This is one where I would just only like to hear or not hear, but if you're going to do the liner notes, have the Revolution do the liner notes, like a little something paragraph or a page or two or whatever. But just reflections from the Revolution and from Susan Rogers, and anybody else that was involved with this particular recording or perform, the concert itself, anybody that was, the owners of First Avenue, for example, and get a little bit of the history of that, whether it's in the documentary, or obviously that'll be in the documentary, but just have the liner notes focus on that. Now, I've got, and when it comes to super deluxe editions and box sets, that's when you get these sort of commentaries from, people that weren't really there, you get a celebrity here, or you get this journalist there, that type of thing. That's pretty much been the standard, just based on box sets from other artists. Like, I mean, I've got the Jackson 5 box set. I've got Marvin Gaye box set. I used to have the Temptations box set. And it's like, like, why is Magic Johnson doing a paragraph here? But that's cool, and I think that's just been the standard for it. But with this particular piece, to have it, just more of a personal reflection, or to make having that a little bit more personal, just limited to just the Revolution, limited to Susan Rogers. Like I said, if there's any other members of the Purple musical singularity that were around for this particular, have their reflections in it also. And, get Susan Rogers involved. She was the original engineer. I know nowadays, I know there are really great people. Now, I know with the super deluxe editions, Bernie Grubman has been doing the mastering or the remastering of things. But, you also have, these folks over in Abbey Road. I can't think of their names right now. But they not only do just the Beatles stuff, but, there's a lot of remastering, people, both American and British, music royalty brings their masters to Abbey Road for remastering. So, if you're not going to go that particular route, and just because of it's this particular piece, just bring her in for the remix or to mix it, to where it's professionally done, you know, because I'm certain that, yeah, they recorded this thing and she engineered it. But since this was something beyond the 3 tracks that ended up on Purple Rain itself, I'm not sure if this was a sort of ready to release project, at least not for then anyway. But again, if you bring her on to kind of do a sort of final mix or be an advisor in regards to any type of mastering or remastering for this, that would be a good idea. Like I said, we need more of those type of Prince projects. I mean, I'm not sure of the extent that, say, former engineers, I don't know if they've all been brought on depending on the project, if it's something that they actually engineered. Doesn't look like, as far as the Warner Brothers material, that was the case. As far as, say, Purple Rain Super Deluxe, 1999, or Sign of the Times. It's great they got Bernie Grumman in there to do the remastering process. But as far as, like I said, basing it off of any notes or if anybody was brought in to advise and that sort of thing, I'm not sure of their involvement with it. But like I said, this particular project, and especially moving forward, especially we're coming up on 2021, that this would be a nice touch to get the original engineers involved and make that happen. But what's most important is, what do you think? Are you a fan of this particular recording that has circulated amongst the collectors over the decades? Do you prefer it being on one of the streaming services as a documentary and maybe a CD a little bit later or same day as it drops? Or do you prefer, like me, a standalone CD bundle with the DVD that could either be the complete performance or a documentary if they don't have the entire concert on film? Leave me a comment on the notes below and let me know your thoughts. And now we're going to move to our second topic, and our final topic of the day, actually. And this will be in regards to, will we get Prince's quote-unquote final album, say, within 2 years of 2021? And what do I mean by that? Well, first and foremost, let's talk about the final album. I'm doing my, Dr. Evil air quotes, even though you can't see me. Final album. So, what is that? What would it be? We know that prior to Prince's passing, he did hint at the possibility of a full piano and microphone tour CD. And we were also aware of an actual studio album entitled Black is the New Black. There are also Prince fans that have mentioned the existence of a Hit and Run Phase 3. And of course, we do know that he was working on songs, or he had some songs sort of in circulation, which was typical Prince. He could have had 2 or 3 albums finished, by this point. And then, a bunch of songs before, like, okay, now I'm going to ease into another album. So, bottom line is that we won't clearly define what a finer album would be. But let's just say, for the sake of this topic, that whatever that album will be, when will it be released? So we are coming up on 2021. We are now heading into fall. And basically, when 2021 arrives, now, not sure of the exact date, but definitely 2021 will be when Sony receives the licensing of the master recordings to all of Prince's classic Warner Brother material, with the exceptions of Purple Rain, Under the Cherry Moon / Parade, Batman, and Graffiti Bridge. So I would say that beginning with 2021, Sony is basically going to want to hit the ground running. Now, this may not necessarily mean that we're going to constantly get these super deluxe editions, but I'm going to gamble on the fact that by 2021, we are going to start to get a serious reissue campaign and possibly a remastered campaign of standalone reissues of Prince's classic Warner Brothers material. So we're talking, possibly For You, Prince, Dirty Mind. We may get that trio of albums jump off first. They'll be totally remastered under the Sony label, Sony Legacy label. There won't be any bonus tracks or anything like that, but you will probably get some very good extensive liner notes out of it. Now, this is nothing official. I have no inside word from Sony or the Prince estate. This is just purely my speculation that once they get these masters in hand, they are going to be 100%. They'll be 95% in the Prince business, because they'll be short 4 classic albums. Well, really 2 classic albums and 2 great albums, depending on your point of view. Now, I do like Batman, and I do kind of like Graffiti Bridge, but you've heard me expound on those on previous episodes. However, this is just my gamble, my thought, my speculation on what's going to happen starting 2021. That we're going to get, probably starting with those 3, Prince, or For You, Prince, and Dirty Mind, remastered, reissued, standalone, single, vinyl, single, CD, and they're going to work their way through the classic era. Now, probably starting with 2021 on the Warner Brothers side, I'm going to speculate that we'll get a Parade Super Deluxe Edition. That is going to satisfy everyone's Super Deluxe Edition appetite. Sony will probably again focus on getting everyone on Earth reacquainted with Prince's classic catalog. This, for the fans, like I said, if you do not have, which amongst a lot of us would be a rare instance, but a lot of us already have the original releases in some way, shape, or form. But like I said, this is the music business, not the fans of Prince business. So with that being said, again, they are going to try to get everyone on Earth reacquainted with Prince with this classic material. Now, that doesn't exclude the possibility of a box set, which I think will probably start beginning with year 2. If it doesn't happen within year 1, meaning that if they don't lead off with a massive box set that will contain the heavy stuff from the classic era and mix it in with a lot of the later stuff, plus some vault stuff thrown in, sprinkled in here and there, depending on how many discs this box set would be. Then once they've accomplished that goal, meaning reissue the classic albums, do maybe a box set, maybe a little compilation, I would say, if you're dealing with the later period, and I mean later period with the sort of symbol period, sort of 1993 through 96, if they don't do a compilation that will officially be their buffer to replace the gold experience, or at least acknowledge that era, in its entirety, and that means with the tracks from the Come album and stuff. Once they've done all of that, you can probably best believe that they are going to want to turn their attention to that final album at some point. And they're going to want to do it again within the first 2 years of them having complete ownership of the Warner Brothers masters, along with the stuff they already have licensed to, which is from 1995 on. And again, I don't have any inside knowledge from either Sony or the Prince estate, but I do believe that they definitely want to plant their flag. I think this is, in addition to, everything that Sony Legacy already has, like with Hendrix, with Dylan, Miles Davis. Oh man, there's so many legacy artists, and they do a fantastic job with those box sets and deluxe editions and reissues and things of that nature. Again, I think they're anxious to really plant their flag with the classic Prince material. Like I said, and this is it for the long haul, I believe. However long that the licensing agreement is, and I do want to go out on a limb and speculate that this will be a lengthy license agreement, that they're going to be in it for the long haul, and it's going to start small. And I know there's a lot of people that wants everything, and that's the nature of it. But you have to understand, this is for the long haul. You want to kind of keep this stuff rolling out for decades. And I mean, for those of you that are hopefully fans of other artists as well, I mean, Hendrix has been gone 50 years this month. And even though they were rolling out material like within a couple of years after his passing, it, for a lot of people, it wasn't standard quality. But I'm going to measure things from the time that the Hendrix family was able to reap the benefits and own the masters. And that's from 1996. So that is well over 20 years before they could own it. And everything that they've come out with since 1996. And they've gone through 2 license agreements, one with MCA and then this current one with Sony, which has been around since 2009 when they entered into that agreement. And the original albums have been reissued and remastered, well, probably just remastered once, but reissued twice since 1986. And you got to look at the loads of stuff that has been coming out since then: box sets, live albums, compilations. And there's stuff still coming. And Hendrix's vault is nowhere near the magnitude of Prince's vault. So it's cool. Yeah, we all want everything and we want it now. But this is the process. And again, remember, this is the music business, not the Prince fan business. So there'll be things for us as fans that will come out and we'll love it, we'll enjoy it. But then there are going to be things that, okay, they're in the business to make money. So if we're going to start off with these reissues, that's where we're going to start. If we're going to do a super deluxe edition, then there'll be a little smaller set for people that aren't quite the collectors that we are. So you have to have a little patience, but I get it that everybody wants everything now. But again, I do believe that they're going to want to plant their flag and say, hey, we're going to start with these reissues. And like I said, there'll be a couple of things. I think I'm going to speculate maybe about 75 to 90% certain that in addition to those reissues, we'll probably get something that addresses that symbol period and put it in its historical context, as well as replace the gold experience. Unless they work something out with Most Beautiful Girl in the World, and we'll probably see the gold experience again. But I do believe we'll probably get a compilation addressing that era. And I believe we'll get some kind of career-spanning box set that'll have a combination of the hits, the B-sides, some live stuff, some vault stuff. And then somewhere within, like I said, maybe within that 2-year realm or after. And for that, I'm going to say probably 85% certain that it will happen after the 2 years of Sony owning everything. And maybe I'm going to go 45 to 50% that will get Prince's final album, whatever it may be: Piano Microphone, Black is the New Black, or some type of compilation thereof, just under that 2-year mark. Like maybe after the first year we'll see it, but I'm more certain that probably maybe after the 2 years. Now, I might change my mind later, but we'll see as things start to roll out in 2021. But that's going to be my prediction in regards to Prince's final album. But what's most important is, what do you guys think? Do you think we will get Prince's final album, whatever it is, Piano and a Microphone tour, whether it's Paisley Park, whether it's Australia, whether it's Atlanta, or, hey, who knows, let's throw this into the mix. It could be a box set or a super deluxe of that itself. Or could it be Black is the New Black? Or a Hit and Run Phase 3? Or some compilation of latter tracks, recorded as early as 2015. Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And that is going to end this episode of Amari Purple Talk. As far as the Sign of the Time Super Deluxe Edition, any reactions that I post will be exclusively on YouTube. And again, it's going to be dependent upon when I actually receive my copy. Hopefully I'll receive it in time. But look for the first of that. It's going to be a multi-part thing. So look for the first of those reactions as early as the same day as next week's episode. But like I said, if I get it later, then you'll get my reaction not long after I've had time to digest it. Same thing with the Twitter thread. Once we get the official announcement, I'll announce that on this show as well. But as far as next week, one of the topics, I want to spend some time with Hit and Run Phase 1. I was listening to that while I was preparing for this show, and darn it, I just want to talk about it. So tune in next week for that. And please, let's all be safe out there. We still got a little bit of 2020 to go. And, I know there's second waves, not only here in America, but popping up in other countries as well. So we're not out of this yet. Stay spiritually centered, be safe, wear your mask, protect that immune system, the whole nine. And I know we're all anxious to get back outside and do things, and we kind of want to pretend like this never happened, but we can't sleep on that. There's we turn these things on, and a lot of times we see numbers, and there's a lot of us, we've known people that have either had close calls or luckily nothing ever turned up or whatever, and they're all healthy and alive and well. But let's not just reduce the numbers as if these are not people that have been affected by all of this. And this is a number that's way too high, and we have to question that. So let's all be safe. Let's do what we have to do. Keep your social distance, wear your mask, all that other stuff. Protect your immune system for sure. So even if you can shake it off or fight it off better. But again, we still got some 2020 to go, and we want to get into next year too, so let's be safe, be careful, and by all means, let's keep it purple and on the one.